Okay, great. Thanks very much. Happy to be here in person with an in-person event. It's really great. So I want to just paint a little bit of a picture. I appreciated Gabe's presentation a lot. I think that's that's pretty representative of what a lot of folks are going through. But we also know that it's not just a journey, it's not just a long journey. It can sometimes be a painful journey. So I just want to take a few minutes to plant some seeds, and then we can talk about this more. If I haven't met you yet, I'd love to do so. So first, why are we doing this digital transformation stuff? Well, I mean, really, there's so many very real challenges that we all have to face. That it's the only effective way to survive. We have some big topics like sustainability and rapidly changing customer requirements, high-performing competitors because they're on the digital transformation journey already and already moving ahead. There's a need for better operating resilience and supply chain volatility we've all seen over the last year. The only way to respond to these and all the rest of the kinds of topics on this page is if you have a robust system in-house. And we've seen that a lot of our community is already moving down this path in a pretty big way. Why are they investing in industrial digitalization? Well, for reasons of growth and cost reduction and sustainability and innovative new products and services. These are the leading reasons. So companies are doing this already. And most manufacturers have made some significant progress along their transformation journey, but only about a third report that they're, would characterize themselves as well underway or focused on optimization and business results already. 15% haven't even started yet, so that's a little bit unfortunate and a little bit, unfortunate for them and a little bit surprising result, I think. But we've been getting a lot of feedback from our user community. One of the things I do here at ARC is I'm part of the leadership team of our Digital Transformation Council, which is our group of end users around the world, about 2,300 strong. And we get a lot of feedback from them on the kinds of things they're running into. So they're running into a lot of obstacles, and they have to find a way forward despite that. So we're seeing things like executives are questioning the investments. Oh, I'm sure you've heard about that, a few of you. And, we've made some progress, but not quite enough success yet with our initial projects. Or, the payback isn't quite what we anticipated. Or, do we really need to resource this? Do we need to invest this much for these kind of initiatives? Or maybe we need to change our focus to sustainability, or hey, maybe we need to focus on ChatGPT now, or something like that. So there are a lot of cultural and organizational obstacles that just kind of crop up naturally along this journey. And so what we know is that you need to anticipate and work through the series of setbacks like this. So typically, you start an innovation program of some kind, and then maybe you start to get some benefits. Maybe it's not as much as you wanted, but maybe it is. And then for some reason, things stall. So we've seen this happen over and over. Our clients tell us this is happening all the time. And this is a critical juncture for most companies and most programs, because this is the time when you really need to take a hard look at things. It's like, well, when does it make sense to scale a pilot? Or maybe we should abandon this and do something else. Or when should the next technology be considered and added? Or how far should we go down this road without, some kind of an overarching plan? Maybe we need a comprehensive strategy of some kind. And this is the time where, some of the executives can kind of fall out of the program if you don't pay attention to them, and if you haven't anticipated that they may have some concerns and some objections. So one of the things to do before you get to the next phase is to figure out how to make sure to keep the executives on board. And one of the things that ARC can do is we can help you find others who've been down this path before, who may have bumped into the same kind of problems and who may have worked through the issues with their executive team already. So that's one piece of advice that we can offer. Shift gears a little bit, I want to talk about this digital transformation, and one piece of it is kind of the technology piece that we sometimes start with and end with, and that's really never enough, but it's an important enough topic that I want to just spend a few minutes on it, because I think it's changed. Our view of the kinds of technologies that we need in the plant have changed over the years. So let's start with the bottom and kind of build from there. The bottom layer, if you will, is machines and assets and controls, or these are smart, connected, instrumented plant and IoT systems. These are the cyber physical systems of Industry 4.0 or smart manufacturing, however you want to talk about it. And based on those, there's a lot of production data, product data, process data, health and safety, sustainability, machine health data, lots of data that's generated within the plant. Typically, we all have a variety of software packages that run in the plant, and so we all know this. So whether they're in the plant or in the engineering, we've got planning and execution and tracking systems all the way to maintenance management and design and engineering systems that kind of fall in this bucket. So this is kind of the model that we know and we're used to. But let's not forget about the basics that support all that, which is the compute and storage and network, whether it's at the edge or in a data center or increasingly in the cloud. This is another area that needs attention. It's worth noting that this whole area of what I've labeled here as data models and analytics is an important area that deserves more and more attention on its own. So we can't ignore it. Data ops and data management is a really hot topic. It continues to be a hot topic among our user group. Of course, analytics and AI and reasoning systems and causal AI systems and all the above, and digital models and digital twins and all these things, really weren't in our vocabulary a few years ago, but they're an important part. So they're a building block in their own right, need attention. We all are familiar with the enterprise software, but especially in these days of sustainability and digital transformation, some of the enterprise software capabilities, it's not really enough to think about it in many cases today of just throwing data up to the ERP system. You've got to really think about governance and reporting, and that needs to translate deep into the OT systems and into the plant these days, along with planning and procurement and supply chain issues and so forth. So that's also an important plant-related building block. And then there's the orchestration piece, the communications and collaboration systems, whether they're virtual reality systems or just mobile devices or some kind of a central tool of some kind. There's that increasing need for collaboration and communication, especially when some of the workers may not be in the plant, they may be remote. And then tucked in there is this notion of additional software and composable applications. And then last but not least is a little footnote here, because it really applies to this whole thing, is cybersecurity, and that needs to be really addressed throughout the whole program. So I've got a couple of slides here that I'm going to have to go through pretty quickly because I see we're running out of time here. But the notion is it's not just those technology building blocks, though they're important, but how do you sort of progress your digital transformation initiatives? So you need to align with your organization's goals and then emphasize innovation and transformation as a strategic measure, not just an incremental thing. You need to select and prioritize targets, and there are 4 skills that are important to have and build. You need to be able to imagine and reimagine the future state. You need to be able to master new technologies and deploy them effectively. You need to be able to empower the organization's collective intelligence. You need to be able to lead the organization despite those inevitable setbacks. And those are the 4 main skills. And then you need to be able to plan to overcome the obstacles that are going to arise, as I mentioned. You need to properly resource each of those technology building blocks that I went through. You need to take advantage of external insight, validation, and education, and formalize your digital innovation strategy. So you should have a kind of a goal-oriented framework and make sure to pay attention to the workforce dimension as well. You need to develop a culture of change and execute adaptively and empower change agents. You need to anticipate the 21st century industrial ecosystem and expect complexities. Now, I've used this for a couple of years, this complex ecosystem, so I won't spend a lot of time on it. But basically, the notion is that in addition to those folks in the plant and of the organization, there are other folks that have an important role in today's production operations. So I know I've gone through that kind of fast, but I have a short period here. But I've got a report that's available in your conference app that's it's called Digital Transformation Midlife Crisis, where I go into more detail on all these things. So I hope you take the opportunity to look through that. And I'm around here to ask any questions if you'd like. One more thing I'd like to point out before I go is that we've released our 2nd edition of our Industrial Digital Transformation Top 25 report. And so that report is also available in your conference app. And this afternoon, I've got a session that features 4 of the companies on this list. So I've got speakers from 4 of the top 25 companies in the session this afternoon called Digital Transformation. And with that, I'm going to close, and thanks, everybody.